Hello everyone, my name is Laiba Mansoor and this video will record my answer for the first evaluation question. I will be uploading this video on my blog in the evaluation tab using YouTube. The question is, how does your product use or challenge conventions and how does it represent different social groups or issues? I will be dividing this question into different categories, but before dividing them, I will be explaining what codes and conventions actually are. Codes and conventions can be described as a set of rules that are used in all media texts or products. They are used by the audience to develop a sense of recognition among different products, and they are also used to categorize different texts into different genres. This can be seen in various movies with different genres. For example, when you look at a horror movie, there are certain codes and conventions of a horror film. However, when you look at a different movie, such as a romantic movie, it has different codes and conventions. So conventions vary genre to genre. However, it's not necessary that these codes and conventions are consistent. These codes and conventions can be broken by the producers to create something new or something that is out of the ordinary. I will be answering this question using 4 different aspects. The first aspect being how I used conventions in my project. The second aspect is how I challenge those conventions. The third aspect is how my project represents different social groups. And the last one being how my project represents social issues. I will be addressing the first aspect first, which is how I used various codes and conventions in my project. Since our genre is romantic comedy, and when you look at the codes and conventions of this genre, there are some set conventions that are stereotypically always used. As mentioned in the presentation I made for the research tab of my chosen genre, which I will be linking down below, so you can check that out as well if you haven't. Although I will be addressing to all these conventions side by side using my project. The main conventions that my project uses are that every romantic film includes a couple, mainly being a boy and a girl. I use this convention in my project where the couple who is destined to be together is matchmade by the angels. As you can see in the images that I have attached, there is a couple who have fallen in love with each other. The second convention is that usually romantic films concentrate on the ideology or are based on the ideology of true love or love at first sight. Our project is mainly built on this ideology that Cupid's hit at the heart of a person and magically that person falls in love at first sight with the person he or she is destined to be with. As you can see in the images that I have attached, this is after they were hit with an arrow. They look at each other and they are attracted to each other and they apparently fall in love with each other at first sight. The third convention is that in a range of romantic movies, I personally have seen this, that a bright lighting such as yellow or orange or pink is used to emphasize on the genre and to create a joyful atmosphere where love is all around. This can be seen in our project where we used a bright lighting on the angels to show purity and a joyous atmosphere. Also, when you look at the couple, there is also a bright lighting. It wasn't necessarily yellow or orange, but there is a bright lighting so it doesn't give a dull effect. Also, when you're looking at such films, we see that another convention that is most commonly found is the general sounds used that are very pleasant and calm, which is the fourth convention. We use the sound of birds chirping at the start where the first character is introduced, and also at the opening credits we use a pleasant soothing opera with an image of cupids behind. This all adds to the genre of our film opening. The fifth convention, also the last convention in my project, is based on gender identities. We have seen this ideology through and through so many films where the girl is usually introduced wearing girlish colored clothes with pink, red or purple or even yellow, and boys are usually introduced wearing blue, green or black. We represent color with gender in order to create gender identities. Boys are usually wearing blue, and in our project the target or the boy was wearing a blue checkered shirt, as you can see in the image which is attached towards the right side of the screen, and the girl was wearing a hot pink shirt whose image is attached towards the left side of the screen. This can be seen in other films as well, such as I attached 2 images down below. There is an image of 3 girls who are wearing pink. This is from the movie Mean Girls, who apparently have this ideology that they have to wear pink, and just in general throughout the movie they have not wore a blue color or a yellow color or even a green color. They usually wear pink, red or purple. And there is another image that I attached below the image of the boy, is actually Damon from the movie, from the series Vampire Diaries. He throughout the series have never worn a bright color. He has always been wearing a dull color such as black, like he's wearing right now, or a blue color. This, however, is just stereotypically the way how we usually perceive and represent genders. I have attached more examples to the other slide, where I have also attached images of girls wearing pink. This image is from the movie Clueless, and the boy in this from the same movie is wearing a black shirt. This guy throughout has not worn any shirt that was bright colored. He has been wearing black or grey or blue. He does not wear any other colored shirt. Moving towards the second aspect of our project, and that is how it challenged some of the conventions. Like I mentioned before in the starting of this video, that producers sometimes break these conventions to produce something new, something extraordinary, and to keep the audience interested. Even though our project uses various conventions, it does challenge a few as well. One of the major conventions that our project challenges was the appearance of the angels. The angels were not represented in a way that we usually perceive them to be. When we think about angels, and when we have this, the first thing that comes in our mind is that angels are small babies with white wings and arrows in their hand that are used to make two people fall in love. I, as a child, have always been seeing such things. I've seen this on Tom and Jerry cartoons, where a Cupid comes and hits Tom in his heart to make him fall in love. And I've also seen this on Beauty and the Beast, where the ceiling is filled with cupids who are looking down upon Belle and the Beast while they are dancing. So stereotypically, that's how we usually perceive angels to be. However, when it comes to our film opening, we have not shown such angels. Rather, the angels that are introduced are very particular about their job. They are holding black arrows and bow and wearing black colored clothes, which was actually purposely done. And rather than being cupids, they are angels with Cupid being their job. The second angel, who is the authoritative one, is wearing a coat which emphasizes his stern look as well, which completely goes against the convention. Towards the right side of the screen, where, as you can see, looking at the expressions of the angel, he has extremely serious and stern looking expressions, which actually goes against the conventions, because you usually perceive angels to be babies, to be laughing cute babies, but actually we challenge those conventions, and this angel looks rather very serious about his job and is very particular about his job, and he does his job right. Also, when you look at the conventions, we think that angels are something that are pure and cannot make mistakes because they are perfect. This is the thinking that we all usually have. However, when you look at our film opening, you see that the first angel, whose image is attached towards the left side of the screen, which is Daniel, whose role is being played by Imam Malik, was asked to complete his task. But apparently, his target does not arrive on time, and the angel gets distracted and leaves his position to get coffee, which is something that you don't usually expect from angels. As written in the synopsis, I wrote that Daniel is the worst angel in heaven's history, and he is given an ultimatum to either complete his next task or to be damned to hell. However, his immense love for coffee has gotten him distracted and he has failed to do his job. This in itself challenges conventions, because you never think of an imperfect angel or an angel who gets distracted. Other than that, the angels were portrayed in such a way that rather than looking like sweet angels, they seemed like assassins secretly trying to kill someone, which gives an impression of a thriller genre. However, this was only done to challenge the conventions. The genre romance was confirmed when the two people fell in love, and the comedy genre was confirmed when Daniel explains his disappearance. Moving towards the third aspect, that is, what social groups does our project represent? I would say it represents a teenage audience up till the 20s, even because this audience is able to relate to such ideologies much more as compared to children or people in their late 30s, because children cannot relate to love since they do not entirely understand the concept, and let's be honest, they are children, so I don't think they will be allowed to understand such concepts as of yet. And people who are in their 30s have much greater issues to deal with as compared to teenagers. Another reason why our project represents teenagers is because they are not only able to understand the stereotypical codes and conventions, but are much more open to new conventions as well, since teenage audience is what sets rules for the upcoming generations. The final aspect is that how does our project represent social issues? In the starting of the film, when Daniel is looking at the file, there is a love flowchart which is seen to be in a decreasing motion. This specific element showed that how in modern societies love is not considered to be something important, and people have become so cynical that the belief in love has faded over time. People spend much more time doing other things and not focusing on things that actually matter. That example of those things can be love. As seen in the video, the couple is busy in their own life. The boy is listening to music without any care for anything, and the girl is on the phone, which shows how both these people were least involved with their surroundings. It indirectly shows that people are so busy with their technologies that they don't have time to think about love or kindness even. This issue is what me and my team members had in mind before starting with our main project. However, this is resolved when the angels hit them with an arrow to make them fall in love and leave the things that don't matter, which is when the boy takes off his headphones and the girl drops her books and leaves her phone. This indirectly shows that even though the belief in love has drastically dropped, there is still room for improvement and love does overcome all. Towards the last is the evidence that this answer was written by me and all these images were attached was done by me.